All right, thank you for that reminder. I'm recording now. So guys, graphic designer pays, and graphic design pays rather. It can only pay you when you become a graphic designer, not an app user. It can only pay you when you become a designer, not an app user. I'm going to differentiate the difference between an app user and a graphic designer uh, for you as we continue on this course. All right, that is briefly on my personal story in graphic design. As time goes on, I might be telling us more experiences and how you can go about your career as a designer. This first day one, this course is for 3 days. Day one, we are going to be talking, we are going to be laying foundation. We are going to um, learn what really makes you a graphic designer. What really makes you a graphic designer? That is what we are going to learn this first day. Lay the foundation. It is very, very important for you to take note of everything. This is the foundation of graphic design. This is fundamentals of graphic design. That is what we'll be talking about today. Then on day two, we are going to be doing some practical. We are going to be designing. I will not be talking for long. We'll just be designing. You watch me live as I design some designs and give you assignment as well. Not even today, we are going to have an assignment. And as I said on the message I dropped on the group, it is only those that do my assignment or that are serious and are participating that are going to get access to my mentorship after this class. Also, we get access to the free graphics pack I want to give out. As a designer, you definitely need resources for you to be able to get good designs out. Those are the resources I will be giving out. I'll only be giving out to those that are ready. I won't be giving out to everybody. That is that for that. So on day three, we are going to be talking on how to market yourself, how to position yourself, how to sell yourself as a designer, how to make money of designing. And we are going to be having a digital marketer who will be talking with us on that positioning aspect of it. I'll be talking briefly, but he will continue from there. So hope we are good to go. Are we there?
Yeah, we're
Yes,
here.
sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
I'll move straight to the class now so that we don't take so much time. I'll be sharing my screen. So I forgot I muted my mic. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. At any point in time, if you can't hear me,
Yes.
please always indicate. So at this point, I would like us to bring out our jotters, bring out whatever you want to be using to write. what you want to talk about now, there are things at every point in time when you want to design. It's either you have at the back of your mind or you have them by your side. They are called the fundamentals of graphic design. They are called the principles of graphic design. They are called the theories of graphic design. You cannot achieve an appealing design without these things. So get your notes. Let's write down some things. Okay, I put here that a few years ago, these were my designs. But as I progress, or rather as we progress, you are going to see that these designs here were rubbish. This is the second one. This is the third one. This was which year? This is 2016. This is 2015. I think this one should be 2015 or 16 or so. Can we hear me? Somebody should just say.
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. Can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Right on, sir. Right on, sir.
All right, it's okay. So some of you might see these designs and they'll look so beautiful to you. But as we progress, as we go on this course, you are going to see that these designs are actually rubbish, as I call them here. The way the whole text arrangement, the whole of everything were actually rubbish. I say. Then I said, what changed? It is knowledge. We already know that getting the right knowledge for the right cause are is very important, just as what you are doing. If you know what you are doing, it is important as what you are doing. And that is the essence of this course now that you are taking. I beg you, please take it serious. Whatever we are going to be doing here, take it serious. I made this course free, not because it is not important, but because I want to give out the knowledge for free. I just want to. So please take it serious. So let's start by defining what graphic design is. I think let me get somebody to answer us from the group. If you want to answer out what a graphic design is, signify, let me give you a chance to talk. Who can help us define what graphic design is? You must have by chance or by any way heard what graphic design is, or you are a graphic designer already and you just want to improve, so you definitely should know what graphic design is. Somebody should help us before I continue on that. What do you understand by graphic design? Who dropped this fine game? This is a Gabson, right?
Yes. I'm doing, sir.
Okay. Can we hear you? Let's hear you.
Yes, sir. From my own little knowledge, sir. And graphic design is using graphical, not and using words in graphical times to pass message. Can you hear me, sir?
I can I can hear you, but I didn't get you clearly. Can you come again?
Graphic designing is putting together words in a more appealing way to pass message across.
Okay, that is very good. The key
It's
points there
involved
that you
using,
noted. Okay.
sir? Okay, it's involved in using pictures, images, and other catchy words to pass message across to a larger audience.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Gabson.
Thank you.
He got it very well. Any other person want to have a different definition for it?
Shaking down. I don't know if I should answer.
Okay, go on. Balkis, abi purple.
Jesus.
That is the name that is showing here. Please, if you want to talk, don't put on your video, please. Purple, you wanted to talk. Balkis, purple. Oh, that was not who wanted to talk. All right. Somebody's camera is on. Please turn it off. All right. Back to our screen. All right. I said graphic design is a craft where professionals create visual content to communicate message. Just as Gabson said, the very important thing in graphic design is that you are communicating a message. This is very, very important for you to know. You are communicating, you are passing a message through every single piece of design that you create. Be it logo, be it a flyer, be it any design, any piece of design that you are creating. You are communicating, you are passing a message through that design to somebody or to a group of people. So you should always bear that in mind anytime you are designing. So graphic design is a profession, academic discipline, and applied art whose activity consists in projecting visual communication intended to transmit specific messages to special group or with specific objectives. Now these are definitions that you will definitely see online when you open your internet to search who is a graphic designer. But personally, this is how I define a graphic design. A graphic design is a creative combination of graphic elements such that it's appealing to the sight and communicates the right message to the right audience. Do you get that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are with you, sir. We get it.
Go on, sir.
As time goes on, you will understand this definition clearly. We are combining graphic elements. We are going to know what these graphics elements are, and we are going to make sure that those graphic elements, when combined together, it appeals to whoever is seeing it, and the message is still passed. The right message is still passed. You know, there's a way you can put up a design. You can put up a design. It might be fine, but the message is not still passed because of how you put up the design. So, with the knowledge you will gain from this class, you should be able to combine graphics elements that will be appealing to the sight of whoever is seeing it and communicate the right message to the right person. So, as designers, we should know that we are storytellers, right? Try to make sense of the world through arrangement and presentation of graphics elements. Or some people must have started asking in their mind, what is this graphics element we are talking about? Before I go to the next page, let's mention 5 graphics elements that we know, those that already are into graphic design. Somebody should mention
Shapes.
shapes.
Vector, sir. Vectors.
Vectors. Okay, let's continue. Next person.
Font
Text.
size.
You said
I
Text.
said font size.
fonts. Okay. Let's
Color.
let's let's explore this. Okay, color. That is correct. Let's explore this. Now, these are the basic graphic elements that we have. No matter the design you see anywhere, it must have either of these elements inside of it. But there is no a design without any of these elements. Line, shape, the form, the texture, space, image, typography, that is text, and color. These are the things that make up a design. Are we clear there? Let me be sure we are understanding. These are
Yes,
the
sir.
things
Yes,
that
sir.
make up a design. If you look at, let's go back to this our design, this design now. If you look at this design, you are going to see fonts, you are going to see color, you are going to see lines, you are going to see image, you are going to see textures here. You see different elements combined to form up this design. These are the things that are known as graphics elements. Are we clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. We are clear, sir.
All right. So let's go where we stop graphics elements. Okay. These various elements can make up your piece successfully when used right. To do that, you will need to practice, experiment, and learn the rules of applying them. These rules are known as principles of graphics design. Now, you cannot just begin to combine this, combine line, combine shape, combine font, text anyhow and put it anyhow and it makes a design. For it to make sense, it's still a design, no matter how you put it, it's still a design. But remember the definition of designers. We are telling stories. We are combining these graphics elements such that they will communicate the right message to the right person and they will still be appealing to the site. So that is why we cannot just combine them. That is why we need to know the principles guiding graphic design, the principles guiding the combination of these elements. I know that some of us must have attended some graphic design classes and must have learned principles of graphic design. They will tell you contrast, alignment, proximity, and the rest of it. Now, what I'm going to do here in this class is going to be in a different dimension to show us how to apply these principles. It is way different from knowing them and applying them, being able to apply them correctly. So in this class, we are going to learn how to apply this principle, and you should be able to know that you have applied this right or you did not get it right. So if you follow me closely and learn, at the end of this class, you are going to become a graphic designer. Remember, that is the aim for this class, to make every one of us a graphic designer and not just an app user. Now, I stated here that what differentiates a graphic designer from app user is their knowledge and ability to apply the basic principles and theories of design. Remember, that is the aim. That is what, and I said earlier on, I'm going to let us know the difference between graphic designer and app user. Now, let me even state it here. I'm going to, okay, let me not give expo. A graphic designer, um, let me start from app user. An app user is anyone that uses an app. You know how to use WhatsApp, you're an app, you are the WhatsApp user. You know how to use Facebook, you're a Facebook user. You know how to use a Telegram, you're a Telegram user. You know how to use which app again? TikTok. You know how to use Snapchat. You know how to use any app you can mention. Microsoft Word is an app. It's a software. Whatever software you can think of, you know how to use it. You're the app user. You get. But now, as a graphic designer, somebody might be able to know how to use CorelDRAW. Someone might be able to know how to use Photoshop. Remember that photographers know how to use Photoshop. Photographers know
Hey,
how
go
to
out
use
to that.
Photoshop.
I beg you,
Please,
tomorrow. When are they go? Are the bike will carry me? Drop
when
at
they
my
go,
door.
they come, they meet your mic, please.
I can try logging with students. So if you use your Abuja login. I don't get my Abuja email. No, you don't need the email. I don't know. I don't know. Someone.
Please mute yourself. Thank you. Excuse me 1 minute. I need to mute everyone unless you want to talk before I'll permit you to talk to avoid this distraction. All right. Can we hear me now? I've not muted everyone, so if you can hear me, just unmute and we continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, I was differentiating an app user from a graphic designer. An app user, I've already told you, anyone that knows how to use an app, you know how to use a Photoshop, you know how to use CorelDRAW, you can be using it to do anything you want to do. But graphic designer is one who knows the basic principles of design and theories of design, also know how to apply them in order to achieve the aim of being a graphic designer. So there are a lot of principles in designing, but there are also basic and most important ones that should never be ignored, or else you are just an app user. You can be putting up elements together, to form a graphic work, but if it's not fulfilling what a graphic designer should do, then you are just an app user. Did we get that clear? So let's move on to principles of design. This is where we are starting our class. Very important, principles of design. Now, I've always taught my students using this acronym, CRAP. At any point in time when you want to design, you can just write CRAP by your side. C-R-A-P, CRAP. C for contrast, R for repetition, A for alignment, P for proximity. I believe you must have had some of these things before. These are not just the principles of design, but I tell you, anytime, any day, if you have these principles of design by your side or in your head while designing any piece of work, there will be nobody that will be able to criticize your work that it is not professional, it is not good. When your work has contrast, repetition is maintained, alignment is there, aligned properly, and there is proximity in the content, then you have a good graphics work. Let's move on, starting with contrast, which is C. Contrast refers to the use of visually different elements on a design. Note this down. You are going to need it. It's used to grab attention, guide the viewer's eyes to focal points, highlight important information on a design, draw the viewer's attention to a specific part of the design. Note that down. You are going to need it. I know that we don't like hearing long story write up and all, but note this down. It is very important. You will need it. You will come back to it. Contrast can be achieved through various design elements, such as color, shape, texture, typography. Now, all the principles, this is something you should note, all principles of design that we are going to be exploring, they are achieved through the use of any of the design elements, graphics element that we mentioned earlier on. You can only achieve them through any of those elements. Remember, the whole graphics work is made up with graphics elements. So whatever you are going to do on a design, a piece of art, we have to be achieved through the use of any of those elements. So we'll continue. Now, this is contrast. Remember I said contrast refers to the visual difference, the use of visually different elements on a design, used to grab attention, guide viewers' eye towards focal point. Now, look at this design. Contrast is achieved here using color. This small box now on this bigger one, imagine if it was in a darker shade of color with this black bigger one. It will be unnoticeable. You cannot notice it. Now, by so, it has grabbed your attention to it by being in a different color that contrasts this bigger one. I don't know if you are getting me, but let's progress. Look at contrast here being applied again. Darker shade of background, lighter shade of any other element on top of it. Are we getting that? Let me get feedback from
Yes,
you to know
sir.
you are getting
Yes,
me.
sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The basic use of contrast is so that whatever you are putting on that piece of art, somebody can see it clearly, the way you want the person to see it. If you don't want somebody to see this cup now, this one on black background, you will make it completely black and somebody will not notice that the cup is there. A glass cup. And this one, same to this one on white. If you don't want somebody to notice, you make it completely black and white, and somebody will not be able to notice it. That is the importance of contrast on a design. Okay, if we are actually getting, somebody should identify contrast on this design.
How the black pawn is outstanding from others.
The black one standing out from the white ones, right?
Yes,
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 sir.
yes, sir.
Now, this is contrast applied using images. You see that every other thing is in a different color, but just that one on black standing out from the crowd. That is contrast being achieved there. If you blend it to the same color with every other thing, contrast will no longer be achieved there. Now, at every point in time when you are designing, contrast is very, very important. Look at this place up where I wrote contrast. This heading now, contrast. Contrast is achieved here as well. The background being orange while the text being white. With that, we've been able to achieve contrast. Let's have it here again. Which one has the correct contrast?
Yes, sir.
Let's drop it on the group. Just drop A or B on the group. Let's see. Everybody should drop. Let's have everybody participate here. A or B, which one has the right contrast? Let me know we are understanding what you're talking about. A or B, which one has the right contrast? Let's drop. A or B. Don't drop A because everybody is dropping A. Remember, I'm going to show us the correct one. Everybody is dropping B. Is it because everybody is dropping B that you are dropping B?
Contrast.
Let me shock you. The answer is it's actually B. So congratulations to those that are following and have gotten the answer correctly. So look at what I've been talking about, a bad contrast and good contrast. The first one is definitely bad. You can barely see the text on it. Now, this is where beginners in graphic design tend to get it very, very wrong. You put a white color of text on top of white background. Please, somebody should help me mute that person that is talking.
I said we'll give you egg. Sit down and play your game.
Imagine me talking. I didn't know I was okay. I believe you can hear me now. Okay, see how contrast is applied on this design. This planning prayerfully. Planning prayerfully. Having a lighter color of text on a darker color of background creates a very huge contrast. And every of your designs should always have contrast. Back to our first design, graphic design, which is grabbing your attention. It is because of the amount of contrast applied on it. Having a darker color of font on a lighter background gives us that contrast that we need. And the size, remember we said that contrast also achieved through the size and shape, texture of the typography, color as well. So on that design now, we achieve contrast by the size of this graphic design. We achieve contrast with the color through using the color as well. So we are using those graphic elements to achieve contrast, to draw attention to that place. That is what we want somebody to see first on the design. Let's continue. Okay, with this, we know that contrast on any design is very important, and when not applied, the message of the design might not be conveyed accurately. So note that down. Every design you are doing, make sure you apply contrast to it. The basic thing about contrast, in case you did not get all I've been saying, lighter shade of background, darker shade of foreground, or lighter shade of whatever you put it on top of a darker shade of background. It is basic and fundamental, so that when somebody is reading, just like you're able to read the text on my screen now, it's because it is dark on light background. That is why you can see it clearly. So let's move to the next one, which is repetition. Remember our crap, R for repetition. Always have it at the back of your mind. As the name implies, repetition means simply using the same or similar element over and over again on a design. It is very simple. The same thing, using it over and over again. Repetition can be reflected in the use of the same color, font, lines, shape, any other elements. This is a very simple illustration of repetition. Red color is repeated. The same circle is repeated all over the design. It creates a feel to the design. You see how repetition is applied here to create a different figure entirely from different triangles. You repeated different triangles to create a different shape entirely. Please, that person to please mute themselves. Thank you. Then you see how repetition is also applied here to form a pattern. They're repeating different triangles in different colors. And you see that we get a pattern from it. This is not just where repetition ends. It's not just in shapes. Repetition is applied in fonts as well. Repetition creates this cohesiveness and consistency on a design. Make the viewers feel relaxed that they're still on the same page. This has to do with web design. One thing you should know that these principles of design is not just for graphic design. You apply it if you want to learn UI UX. You apply it also web design. Remember I told you I design websites as well. So this has really helped me in my web design to be able to come up with nice, good looking and appealing web pages. And when somebody see it, you see that, yeah, this was done by a professional, everything consistent. Now, if you have different colors of pages on a website, on this page you go, you see purple. You go to about page, you see that everything there has to do with yellow. You move to the contact us page, you see that everything there is blue. Just different color on the website. It is poor. Repetition is not applied there. Somebody might be feeling that they're even on a different website. But if you have everything, the website that you use to register this course now, you saw that my brand colors this shade of dark blue and orange. You will see it all over, even on this presentation, even on the flyer that we use to advertise this class. You see everything. You see how everything is repeated. The color is repeated all over. It will also help you when you're designing logo for clients. When you're designing brand identity, you know that the brand identity covers a whole lot of things that has to do with a company as you are designing the logo. So you have to be consistent with the use of color, with the use of fonts, with the use of shapes, with the use of every other design element that you want to make use of on that design. Everything should be consistent. If you are using a font, you know that you are being consistent with this set of font. And what I always tell my students, to take this one as a cheat to yourself. Write it down, note it somewhere. On every design, don't use more than 3 fonts. This is where you know who does not know what they are doing on a design and who knows what they are doing. Don't use more than 3 fonts on a design. Don't use more than 3 colors on a design. Keep it simple. The simpler, the better. Remember, let me go back to that design that I did years ago that I told you that is rubbish. Look at this design. How many fonts can you count on this design? I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fonts on one design. See why I call it rubbish? Let's move to the next one. See how many fonts are on this design as well. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 6. That one is the same thing as the other one. On one design. Now, it's not going to create that cohesiveness. It's not going to create that sameness on the design. It's going, although then I think I tried in trying to maintain color, yellow, blue, red, black, 4 colors on a design. That is very bad. So you see in this one too, we also have a whole lot of rubbish combination here, fonts and all. So you now understand why I call these designs rubbish. As I said, I was going to explain that, and you've gotten it yourself now without me explaining further to you. You understand that that design was rubbish. So you apply the same fonts. If you are using a shape, particular shape on a design, let me see that our flyer again. You see consistency in the shapes that were used to form this pattern here by the right hand side. You'll be consistent with all elements you are using on a design. This one now that we use to make bullets, you cannot be using this stick, good, and the other one you use arrow, the other one you use dash. You have to be consistent in the use of elements. Don't know if we are getting that clearly. Let's continue. I believe we are. Am I making justice to these principles of design? Are we getting it clearly? Let's drop
Yes.
message on the group.
Yes.
Drop message on the group if you can understand me. If you are getting me clearly. All right. All right. So I believe after now, when you are designing, you apply these principles to make your design look different from any other person's design. Okay, let me see which principles are applied here. Contrast is applied here. Repetition. You see the fonts being used here for the address, the dates. The same font we use for the contact details. That is TOGC online, TOGC online. The same font being used there. Consistency in the color. We have yellow, which is to show to give us that contrast. Same thing is used to draw attention to location and time, while every other thing on white being neutral, but still having contrast. So all these basic things, you put them in mind in everything you are doing, every design you are doing. We should have we talk about repetition and contrast. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Alignment. This is the simplest thing, but a whole lot of people still get it wrong. Alignment. You type with your phone. You type with Microsoft Word. You can align to center. You can align to left. You can align to right. You can justify your text. The same thing is applied when designing. When you type in, do you put one part of it by the left, one part of it by the center, one part of it by the, unless you maybe want to put a title, a heading, put it at the center, make it bold. You're not putting one thing by the right, the other one by the left, scattering it. No. Alignment is very important on a piece of art. You know, normally human being eyes, we start reading from the left to right. That's why I'm going to give us a tip later on alignment. So alignment refers to the way the different elements in a design are lined up in relation to each other and to the canvas of the design. Canvas has to do with the whole space, the whole shape of the design. I don't know if you get that. So you can either align everything to the left, you align everything to the right, or you align everything to the center, right, left. Okay, we have left alignment, right alignment, center alignment, and justify alignment. We already know that with Microsoft Word. So the same thing, you applied it on any design you are doing. Know that you are justifying everything, you are aligning everything, and be consistent with that alignment. Remember, repetition is also applied in every other thing you are doing. Let's move further. You see, an organized alignment. this is a layout now, and see the other one, everything is scattered. Which one looks appealing to the eyes, the first one or the second one? Obviously the first one. The second one will be, you'll be confused. If these are text written, you'll be confused which one to read first. But with the way the first one is organized and lined up, you'll be able to read clearly and understand and get the message ASAP and move on. I'm going to tell us the more reason why these principles are very, very necessary for you to apply on your design. At the end of today's class, I'll tell us that. Very, very important for you to know. Okay. It's always advised to maintain a pattern in your alignment. I've said that. If you are aligning everything to the right, align everything to the right, have the pattern. If you align everything to the left or center, see this design now. I've tried as much as I can to make sure that I maintain a lot of design principles on this design, because this is what we're using to teach us. You see that I maintain left alignment in the content of this design, the text and all, left alignment. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, we understand.
Okay. Then I went for that to say, when in doubt, use left alignment. This is a trick that I use. There are sometimes you actually be confused. Which one will I use? Which alignment will I use? And all. I advise my students, and I'm sure it has been helping them. When in doubt, use left alignment. And that is why even on this design, I made it left alignment. Alignment will make your design look very, very simple and good to go. That's what left alignment will do, because it's basic. Then repetition should be applied in the alignment. Imagine this become a graphic designer, I use left alignment. Then in this way, I made this list of courses we are going to be treating now. I went for that to use right alignment or central alignment. The design will be scattered. It will not be organized. And there is something in advanced class, because this is a fundamental class. There's something in advanced class that I also teach, which is sectioning of your design. The first section of this design has to become a graphic designer up to these logos. That is where the first section of the design is. Left alignment. You can treat alignment section by section, but that is when you have become good. You know the fundamentals very well, because we know that rules are meant to be broken. All these rules I'm teaching you, all these principles I'm teaching you, you can break them to have a creative design, but you are not advised to break it if you don't know how to apply them basically first. So you have to know how to apply them well, use them well, before you be able to know how to break them. You can break this design now, break the principles that we use here, this left alignment, and have other section of this design having different alignment, and it will still be good. So this design is sectioned into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. This write-up content, you can decide to use different alignment to it, but basically you have to apply repetition on the alignment and be consistent with it throughout the design for it to have an appealing design to the eyes. Okay, let's move on. The next thing is proximity. Crap, I think this is the last one. It's already after 9. Okay, well, I'm not looking at the time. We'll just finish up. I think this is the last. Okay, this is not the last, sorry. But then, proximity. Who can, okay, let me remove the page. Who can define proximity for us? Who knows about proximity? Raise your hand on the group. I will give you the chance to talk so that I don't have many people. Who wants to define proximity for us? Isaac, Ziki. All right, let's have you talk.
aligning similar elements or image to a particular place.
Okay, he has an idea. Any other person? Gabson want to talk? Gabson, you want to talk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Um,
Proximity. Okay. Should I go on?
you can go on. I'm hearing you.
Okay. Proximity, in my own knowledge, is balancing of either texture or elements of a design.
Okay, sorry, I left by mistake. I'm back here. Let me share my screen again. I had you, Gabson.
Jesus.
This source of a guy, he has just been screaming since the beginning of this class.
Uncle Philip, do this, abeg.
He called me Uncle Philip. All right. I believe you can see my screen again now. Screen I'm sharing.
That's it.
Okay, we're talking about proximity, and two people did justice to it. But then let me enlighten us on that. Proximity is also where beginners and designers get it whole wrong. It is easy to define, but it's hard for so many people to apply. I still don't know why. Proximity is placing similar or related elements of a design close to each other. It is as simple as that. We know the elements of design. Okay, if you can still remember the elements of design, let's drop them on the group. Let me just know that we are following. Drop them on the group. Elements of design. The elements of design. Let's drop them on the group. Okay, yeah, somebody just mentioned space. It is something I did not mention earlier on. Space is very important part of a design. It is an element of design. We'll talk about it more later. Or we'll talk about it tomorrow when we are designing. Okay. So proximity, just like as I said here, if you can read my screen, just like you arrange your house, you know, like kitchen utensils are separate from where you place your clothes. There's a different from where your electronics are kept in the house. It makes the room well organized. It makes anybody that is coming to the house will know that this is your bedroom, this is your kitchen, this is your sitting room, because of the things that are placed there. This is what proximity does on a design. You have related things that are related. We have shapes in one place. We have text in one place. We have related text in one place. The more, the more they are related, the more they are placed together. That is what proximity is all about on a design. Excuse me, I had to drink water. I don't talk for long. I believe you understand that the different elements that we just mentioned them. I think we will understand by examples. You see how these circles are placed together. It makes more sense than when they are scattered. Look at the design here now. We place all the text one side, image one side, related text, they are close together. We now place introduction to graphic design at the top, social media flyer design by the right corner, how to monetize your skill at the middle, scatter them. No, they are related, so we put them together. 3 days free intensive and simplified graphic practical class for you to learn graphic design from scratch. It's placed together. Become a graphic designer. It's placed together. There are related content placed separately together. That is proximity. Images one side. Let me see if I have a hair. Thank God I put these examples here. You see this birthday flyer. We have the text, the write-up, close together, and the picture separate. The picture is the main focus here on this design, and that is what we want somebody to see first. That's how we made it bigger. That's how we made the contrast. No contrast also has to do with the size of whatever element. That's how we make it bigger. But then we are talking about proximity here. The happy birthday and the name and the write-up placed closer together. The same thing to this other flyer here, the Xmas flyer. You see how related content, related elements of the design are placed together. That is what you should do in every design. If you don't understand the proximity very well, maybe you have to book another session with me, because proximity is very, very important on any design you are doing, so that you don't just scatter your content, scatter your elements on the design, unless you are a very, very good and professional graphic designer that know how to break rules and still have a good design, because rules are meant to be broken. Now, that will be all for crap. But then there is this design principle that I always add to my basic, because you will need it. It is as important as every other thing we've talked about, which is hierarchy. But then how did we get the whole thing up to proximity?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We got it.
All right. So hierarchy involves organizing design elements in their order of importance on a design, or in the order in which you want the viewers to see them. It is not enough applying proximity, you know that image is to the right, or you put your text at a particular place, your image at particular shapes, and make sure you organize. It's not enough having alignment, you align them properly. It's not enough having repetition, you know that you're using the same fonts all through, or a good maximum of 3 fonts, colors. We know that you applied contrast properly. It's not enough. if your design does not have hierarchy. Now, hierarchy helps the viewers to read the message you are passing out to them accurately, how you want them to read it. If you look at these shapes here now, you are definitely going to see this first bigger one. You are going to see this one first before you move to this smaller one, before you move to the smallest one. The same thing with this other one. You are going to see it accordingly to the size, to the smaller one. That is how you notice. You are not going to notice the smallest one first before the bigger one. You definitely notice the bigger one before the smaller one. That is what hierarchy does for a design. How are you going to apply this hierarchy? Let's see more. In graphic design, hierarchy utilizes several key principles, including size, color, contrast, alignment, repetition, brightness, to emphasize certain characteristics of the design. We are going to end the class by 9:30, so we have 10 minutes. We are concluding. So these are all the things you apply to get hierarchy. Where it is aligned, the color, the contrast. Remember on this one now, this color is what is used, and the size is what is used for you to be able to know what to see first, second, and third. Hierarchy simply is to control the eyes of your viewers, what you want them to see first, what you want them to see second on the design, what you want them to see last. You get? So on this example now, everybody read it. Look to the screen and read it. So we can talk now. Do you see how hierarchy is applied to make you read what should be read first, and what you read second, and what you read next to the last?
Very clever.
In size as well. This is applied in text. You see how it's applied in image as well. If you put the two images together the same size, you will just see the two of them together. But if you look at the other one, how the size of the fish is bigger than the human, you definitely see the fish first before the human. See how hierarchy is applied here again. The name of the person, if you make it the same size with every other thing, there is no importance to it. Somebody's attention will not be grabbed first to the name. But you want somebody to see the name with the picture, sharps. Then we increase the size and also make use of color, because we make use of size, we make use of color, make use of contrast, alignment, every other thing to emphasize the importance of whatever we want to on a piece of art. Even when you are writing, you see like that our design, this our design now. Graphic design is the first thing you will see when you look at the design. Apart from the distracting colors by the right hand, first text you will see is graphic design. That is what hierarchy does. I wanted you to see this thing first, graphic design, before you now go into details to read every other thing on that piece of art. So as I said, hierarchy is very important on design and should never be neglected. So in conclusion, as I said earlier, the difference between app user and a graphic designer is their knowledge and ability to apply these design principles we just talked about. So if you know how to apply them, you know them, first of all, you know how to apply them on a piece of art, then you're a graphic designer, because there is no way you apply them correctly and the message of that design will not be able to be passed correctly to the right person. Tomorrow we are going to talk about how to design a flyer, how to design a logo, the steps involved, so that you'll be able to design, you'll be able to apply these principles. Please, someone, okay. You'll be able to apply these principles coupled with how to design and have a good design for anybody, for any specific purpose, any objective of that design. We are going to explore that. Okay, now I said something earlier. I'm going to tell us the reason why these principles are very important. We are in an age whereby information is flying up and down. Pa, 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 pa. Many things are competing for our time and attention. Our attention span are getting shorter, unlike before, which means messages need to be passed quickly, abbreviated, so that when somebody look at it, sharp, sharp, you get the message. So that is why as designers, we have more work in order to be able to communicate effectively every piece of design we are doing. So different design elements must be combined together appropriately to complement each other in order to give us a very good design that can communicate properly. So did we get that clearly? So that is the more reason why we need to learn these principles and apply them correctly. So as our first assignment, okay, I didn't include our assignment here. Our first assignment is this. You are going to pick a design that you know that the principles of design were not applied there correctly. You state the principle that was not applied there and how it was not applied and how it should be corrected, or it should have been applied. Also pick a second design which has correct application of the design principle. Is that clear? I don't know. Do we understand that? Let's have it on the comment section if you understand what I just said.
Yes, it's understood, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to drop that assignment and pin it to the group here. The delivery time will be before tomorrow's class. You must have gotten your assignment done. Just drop it on the group that, okay, this principle was not applied on this design. This is why it was not applied. This is how it was supposed to be applied. Then your second design will be, okay, this is correct. This is a principle that was applied here properly to give us this good looking design. I think we got that clearly. Tomorrow's class will be starting by 7 o'clock. So we are not going to take much time by this, and we are going to be designing. So till then, do we have any question? Do we have anything to say before? We have from now to the beginning of tomorrow's class to submit the assignment. Yes. And on this chat, yes, exactly. So any other question before we call it a day?
Yeah, I have a question.
All right, let me hear you.
You talked about three fonts and three colors. So my question is black and white also part of the colors?
Naturally, they say black is the absence of color, white is the presence of all colors. So they are neutral colors. So when counting on this in a piece of art, you sometimes you take them as neutral. Then any other color you are adding to it, you count.
Okay.
You get?
Understood.
But
Yeah.
then you have to be conscious of any other color you are adding to it, so that you don't begin to have more too many colors on a design. If you have a white bar, just like this design we use for our class now, the space for the white is very much on the design. So it will be logical enough for you not to begin to have too many other colors on it, so that they don't begin to fight. Basically, we have just orange and the blue as the um, colors here. There is a code for color combination on a design, but that is more like an advanced class. But then let me just give us here. When combining colors for a design, you should use a formula 60 40, or then you can even decide to use 70 20 10. Can decide to use 60 40 10. That is the percentage of the color on a design, which is you can have a blue color more 70% of the whole design. Then we have 20% to be your secondary color. Then 10% will just be your call to action or just additional color on the design. At that point now, if you have white, you can add white to be your color at that point, so that you don't begin to have colors that will be fighting too much on the design. And remember, you have a maximum number of colors to apply on the design.
Okay.
So do we have any other
Yeah.
question?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Isaac said he has a question.
Okay. Okay.
Isaac, ask your
Question
question.
is, yes, my question is about the three color principle. If you
Okay.
also go like this, if like your canvas is white or black, then you can now apply those three color principle on that black or white canvas without adding the white as part of the three color. Like white is the canvas, then you have blue, red, and purple as the general mixture of color in your design. Is this thing possible like that?
It is.
Or
But as I
the
said, we
background
have
also count when
the background counts. Background counts. But then as I said, black and white are neutral colors. If you know that they will be fighting with your design, then you take them into consideration. The design I use as an example for us, it is white that is in the background. It's at the background. So we can't begin to have too many other colors adding to that design to begin to fight, begin to have too many colors on it. But there are some instances, you know that we are if you're applying a rule of 60 30 10, you can have your white background as the 60%. You can have your main color on it as a 20% or 30%. Then you have your other remaining percent as the call to action or any other additional text that is on it. I didn't plug my system. Thank God for the power of Kai. Would have my system is 4% now. I didn't notice. Just noticing it now. So any other questions? Don't forget to do your assignment. It is very important so that we know that yeah, you followed me up to this level, and for you to have even followed to this level, I'll know that yeah, you took this course serious. You really want to learn, and I'm ready to give you the knowledge. I'm not concerned about the number of people that are registered. I know that it is because it's free. Because it's free, that is why we have that number of people. I know that we will not have that number of people that will be serious. So I am glad you are among the number of people that want to take it serious. Tomorrow again, let's meet 7 p.m. and design together. I promise you, at the end of this class, your mindset in graphic design is going to upgrade. Or if you are just starting, you are going to learn. You are going to have this skill that will definitely pay off. Because, all right, any other thing before we call it a day? Any question? All right, no question. So I'll be dropping update on WhatsApp group. Always check in case there will be any updates. Thank you all for joining. See you tomorrow.